Hello everybody, welcome on the first episode of Crypto Truth News, the truth about what's going on today in the world of cryptocurrency and in the world of blockchain. Everything accessible even to the newest member of the cryptocurrency world. So let's dig right in today's episode by looking at the market cap. So today's market cap is of $458.53 billion. The 24-hour volume, it took $26.3 billion of volume in the last 24 hours. So it really is coming back up nicely. And the Bitcoin dominance is still of 33.6%. Bitcoin has raised in the last 24 hours by 13.7%. By the way, today is Saturday, the 10th of February, and it is 8:33 Berlin time, so CEST time. Ethereum is up 13.9% and is worth $917. Ripple went up 54% in the last 24 hours and is now worth 1.21. Bitcoin Cash continues to rise. Yesterday it was rising quite a lot and now it's at $1.378,000. And Cardano is finally showing the tip of its iceberg by going up 30.4% in the last 24 hours, being worth $0.45766. Litecoin also going up a little bit by 17%. It is now worth $169. What else is important? Neo is going back where it should be, probably at $121.8, going up by 9%. IOTA is going up by 21.7%. Dash is now up at $671, and it was under 500 a few days ago, as you can see here on this little mini chart if you're looking at the video version of this show. VeChain is going up, it's now at $5. Icon, I like Icon, is going up by 12%, it's now at $470. OMG is at 13.8, going up 18%. What else is there that we want to know about? Personally, because I'm going to talk about this project in this episode, I want to look at UTRUST. So UTRUST UTK, because I invested in this a few days ago when it was really low, and in the last day it's been starting to go right back up. It is now worth $0.32, so nearly 33 cents. It's been going up 14%, and we're actually going to look at what UTRUST is, because I really think that it's going to be one of the biggest coins. Their project is really cool, and yeah, we'll just dig right in after. If you have any questions, by the way, please don't hesitate to send me a message, to put a comment below. I read every single comment. Also subscribe to this channel and make sure you get notified every time there's a new episode, because there will be daily episodes, and we will, so that you don't miss anything about what's going on in the crypto world. With no bullshit. So, going back to market cap, what else did we want to see? I wanted to check on Ethos also. Ethos, which gave me huge gains. I think it's a really cool project. And as you can see, it is also, it has been, when I bought it, it was a few cents, it was 5 cents actually, and it went up to $10.8, so huge gains here. It's recovering from the big crash of last week by 11.49% in the last 24 hours, and here it is how it's going. So it's going up, a little bit down, but it's going up again. And now it's at $4.6, which is quite cool. What else did I want to see? Oh yeah, super cool project that I will talk about in one of the next episodes. Power Ledger. Power Ledger is going up by 32.9%. It is now worth over 88 cents, and it is an amazing project. We'll talk about it soon. Let's go to the cryptocurrency news in the media, in mainstream media. Cryptocurrency news: US tax may be paid with Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum under new plans. This is from the Express. The Arizona Senate passed a bill early this week which could allow its residents in the state to use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to pay their taxes. So this is like kind of some positive FUD, I would say. And these kind of articles contribute to why cryptocurrency is going back up at the minute. It's very susceptible, it's very reactive to what's going on in mainstream media, because people read mainstream media, they listen to mainstream media, and they don't really take the time to think and to give their own opinions about what's actually happening in mainstream media, in the world of cryptocurrencies. And this is why I wanted to do this channel, so that we could really like analyze and see what's real, you know, like, and what's not. There's another article. So yeah, so if you can pay your taxes with cryptocurrencies, I think more people are going to be interested in cryptocurrencies. It would mean that the money goes to the state, and then the state has to take responsibility of how to exchange it. I don't know. I don't think it's such amazing news, to be honest, because it's just another way for governments to regulate and control your cryptocurrencies. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. And also, I don't know how many people in the state of Arizona really own any cryptocurrencies or enough to pay their taxes with. I don't know, let's see how it goes. But this is considered like positive news in the mainstream media. Now let's go to this next article. Cryptocurrency crackdown, world leaders to plan regulation on Bitcoin at G20 meeting. Now this is quite big. This is big news. World leaders could be set, again it's on the Express. World leaders could be set to hold talks on Bitcoin at next month's G20 summit after French and German officials called for a discussion on cryptocurrencies at next month's meeting. So the French president, which I know because I'm French, he might be what he is, and you know, I don't like everything about him, of course, but he has always been somebody that has encouraged young people to start new technologies. He's been encouraging startups, especially tech startups. He's been inviting people, when Trump got elected, he invited people working for in tech, and also finding solutions for the climate change crisis to come to France. He will give money to research and, you know, get things moving. So I'm not surprised that he actually is quite positive on going on board with cryptocurrency, although he was trained by Rothschild. He was trained in the Rothschild Bank, and he worked there for some years before he went into politics. So he's a financial guy, and he is a banker person, although he did leave quite soon after he joined. So let's see what his motives are. Again, is it about trying to control more and more? Governments want to control, and they give the excuse that there is risk in ICOs, there is risk in investing in cryptocurrencies, and there is risk in not regulating cryptocurrencies because some of them can be used for illegal activity. It's true but come on, like they want to control it because they want to tax it, which they're doing. But they can only tax it if you change it to fiat money, right? So they can't actually tax you on your cryptocurrencies. And I mean, they can try, but it's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible for them to regulate where money comes from and how in the cryptocurrency world. And this is very scary for governments, and it's very scary for banks because they will be losing a lot of money. So let's read a little bit more of this article. The finance minister and central bank governors of France and Germany have requested that talks on policy and monetary implications of cryptocurrency be part of the agenda of March meeting. They said, we believe that there may be new opportunities arising from the tokens and the technologies behind them. However, tokens could pose substantial risk for investors and can be vulnerable to financial crime without appropriate measures. Yeah, right. So, in the longer run, potential risk in the field of financial stability may emerge as well. The plans to hold discussions on digital currency comes after a large increase in interest of online money. So, it's getting hyped up. People start talking about it. And then, of course, with this is good news, actually. Like, I know it's kind of regulatory. People, the governments are trying to regulate it more. But it's starting to be more accepted in mainstream media. So, it's positive and negative news, I guess. But let's see what they decide, let's see what they talk about. The dramatic drop since so it went up, it dropped back, and people got panicked when it dropped. But it dropped for some reasons, and one of the reasons, which is not the biggest reason, but one of the reasons is because people are buying very, very high. Something happens, it goes down, they panic sell, so the price crashes. And then they start saying, oh, cryptocurrency is a scam and we lost all our money. But that's just because they were practicing an activity that they had no idea about. So the dramatic drop in its price has been, this is from the article, a dramatic drop in its price has been largely blamed on some countries starting to implement regulation on digital currencies. So there was South Korea, who introduced a raft of measures last month aimed at regulating Bitcoin and similar currencies such as Ripple and Ethereum. A ban on anonymous trading was implemented by the Asian power in a bid to crack down all possible criminal activities. The secret nature of trading Bitcoin allowed. Right, that's not true. I mean, how is it called? The Republic of People of China or whatever. It's a communist country. It's basically a dictatorship. Democracy there is practically non-existent. It's a country that invades peaceful countries such as Tibet completely illegally for financial purposes. They shit on their people. There are a few very, 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 very rich industrialists. There's some very rich people there, but the majority of the people, there are billions of people in China dying of thirst and hunger. The air is disgusting. There's no real regulations on climate change. It's a fucking horrible country. Not to generalize too much on the Chinese people, and actually I'm not talking about the Chinese people, I'm talking about the Chinese government, the way it is ruled, but the ban on access to certain internet websites such as Facebook. It's not so far off from North Korean regulations, and of course they want to limit, and of course they want to ban cryptocurrencies, like they want to ban access to freedom of speech, like they want to ban access to social media and it influences people to give their opinions, and they don't want people to give their own opinions. It's a horribly governed country, and of course they want to destroy cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is being able to trade and to get some financial transactions from people to people, eliminating the middleman, eliminating the big brother, eliminating the banks, and eliminating the corrupt governments. India went at it as well, and the Indian government said it does not consider cryptocurrencies to be legal tender and will try to phase out payments using their online money. I mean, 70% of their country is dying of disease and hunger and thirst, while some very, very rich people at the top are making millions out of them, paying them shit to work horrible jobs. So of course the government wants to consider cryptocurrencies to be legal tender. Meanwhile, Japan is also expected to see an increase in regulation following a number of high-profile hacking cases. So again, this is negative FUD. Anyway, so this is a lot of news, and all this news influences the market a great deal. Now let's look at the last article on CNBC that had some really bad articles on cryptocurrencies just a few days ago. Now they're being all fluffy about it. Bitcoin reached its bottom as crypto funds beat hedge funds, say digital currency investor. So there's this guy, this article was published on the 8th of February. This guy's name is Kelly L. And apparently he knows about cryptocurrency, but okay, there's such an institutional appetite to get exposure to cryptocurrency and crypto hedge funds. Returns on Pantera's cryptocurrency hedge funds. Bitcoin should surge in the next couple of weeks. So he says Bitcoin should return to peak levels in the next couple of weeks and will continue growing from there. And he's an investor and an expert. There's such an institutional appetite to get exposure to this. It's $500 billion asset class that nobody owns. That's a pretty wild circumstance. Bitcoin is still so under-owned by institutional investors that it trades at its own beat. So this guy basically is saying, yeah, it reaches all-time low and it will now rise like crazy. It might be true, but again, I wouldn't trust 100% what's written on CNBC on anything, whether it's negative news or positive news. So keep your opinion, because they always tell you, they give you numbers that are incorrect, and they exaggerate a bit, and they give you predictions that are unpredictable. You cannot predict when the market will go back up. You cannot predict what the market's bottom is ever. It just doesn't work like that. So that's it for the news for today. Let's go into today's project, which is UTRUST. Now, I invested in UTRUST a few days ago when it was really low, so I was really lucky. And let's go back to CoinMarketCap. If you're listening on the podcast, then you can't see the screen, which is okay because I will describe everything. So UTRUST, as I said before, it's about 33 cents. It went up a little bit. The total supply is of it's half a billion tokens. I want to talk about this project because I think it has huge potential. So UTRUST. UTRUST is essentially the equivalent, but much better, of PayPal in cryptocurrency. So this is the website, and I'm going to describe it for people listening to this episode. So, buyer. The advantages of UTRUST. For the buyer, minimizes the risk of scams and fraud by providing a full payment protection and acting as a third-party mediator. We protect your purchase from the moment you pay until delivery. So it's very secure if you want to buy with UTRUST. It gives a guarantee, kind of like PayPal gives you also when you sell on platforms like eBay, but with cryptocurrency. For the seller, as a seller, you benefit from low fees and real-time transactions. Say goodbye to nasty chargebacks. credit card fraud, and hacked account payments. With UTRUST, you can accept multiple cryptocurrencies at once, and all payments received will be converted to fiat currency to protect you from market price fluctuations. So this is quite good for a lot of sellers that don't necessarily want to keep cryptocurrencies for whatever reason. They want to get their fiat, so their real, quote unquote, you can't see me on the podcast, but quote unquote, your real money. So it is exchanged directly to fiat, and they say that it's to protect the seller from market crash, but also inflation, I guess. Payment mechanism. So the buyer pays with any major cryptocurrency with a low conversion fee, or with UTRUST token with zero conversion fee. So if you pay with UTRUST, the token, UTK, there is no conversion fee. However, there are small conversions free if you pay with the major coin. So on the picture, they only give Bitcoin and Ethereum, but probably some other ones too, such as Ripple and maybe even Litecoin, I would say. Then you can convert to fiat. Funds are immediately converted to fiat currency in order to protect the seller from market volatility. UTRUST holds the funds and releases to seller adjusted on a performance-based time frame. The seller receives in fiat currency and can withdraw to a bank account, keep it in wallet and convert it to other cryptocurrencies. So basically, they take all the advantage of cryptocurrency, which is using the blockchain for peering to being able to trade from one person to the other in a very secure way, without having a middleman, such as eBay or Amazon or any other kind of platform. And also it allows sellers to convert directly these coins into fiat money, so that essentially they can pay their bills, because you can't pay yet with cryptocurrencies, unfortunately. You will be able to in the future, but right now, as of today, in February 2017, it is either not existent or very rare. So you can't just earn all of your money with cryptocurrencies. You also need some fiat money to go to the supermarket. So then he compares UTRUST, the site compares UTRUST to PayPal and BitPay. UTRUST introducing the safest payment platform in the world for buyers and sellers. Below you can find a practical comparison between UTRUST and the major traditional and crypto online payment platforms, PayPal and BitPay. So apparently UTRUST has a lower buyer purchase risk than PayPal and BitPay. Payment approval speed, low exchange fees, low seller fees, multiple cryptocurrencies accepted, safety of funds, no chargebacks, customer payment protection, resolution of disputes, time frame, seller performance-based rating, decentralized token with index value. Their roadmap, they had their pre-ICO in August and their ICO in November. The platform test API for merchants opens this month, integrated with merchant checkout mechanisms, test mediated chat mode. So this month they are opening the first MVP, the minimum viable product. In March, there will be a client API, wallet, web app. So you'll have an app where you can check your balance, transactions, and integrate it with major e-commerce platforms. Which ones? I'm not quite sure yet. And then there'll be the rollout phase in April and in January of next month, with native iOS and Android apps, more merchants and live transactions. And then they predict that in January there'll be over 1,000 merchants and progressive hiring of mediators. The token is it's one of the rare cases where the token is actually backed up by a platform that makes it spendable in its marketplace, in the marketplace. It's not only a spendable token, it's a potential investment as well, growing as the market grows. So, like if you invest in it, it grows, you get more money. It's an ERC20 platform, so it's based on the Ethereum platform. The token price was of 0.065 USD, and the maximum crowd sale cap is of $21 million. They show you the token distribution. There'll be 25 million bounty marketing, 50 million then diluted 2% per year during the next 5 years of UTRUST. 100 million pre-sales, so private investors with 1 year vesting, so that means they have to stay for 1 year or they lose their investment. And then 50 million for the pre-ICO and 275 million for the ICO. Now the ICO was finished in November, so we're not in that phase yet, and it's now in markets. I have bought mine on KuCoin, and I thought it was the best price, and also I like the platform. I think it's pretty safe. And so here's where it is now, 0.33. I think it's a really great project. I think that when cryptocurrency really becomes something that we use to buy things online, we will be using this platform. We will not be using PayPal anymore. And you know, even BitPay has a lot of disadvantages compared to UTRUST, notably that you can't accept multiple cryptocurrencies. So I think UTRUST is going to be a huge project. It's going to be a way to pay for things on big e-commerce platforms and maybe also smaller ones. So maybe it will be integrated with if you have a Shopify store, for example. So I think it's a really cool project. Check it out. I think it has quite a good potential to grow quite fast in the next year, but it is also a long-term investment. For the same reason I just exposed now, is that we can't really pay in cryptocurrencies right at this very moment. You can a little bit, but not so much. But when it will become more mainstream, it will be something really huge. So that's it for today's episode. Today was quite long. I will try to keep it a little bit short in the next ones. I wanted to make a podcast out of it so that you can listen to it on the go, because there are a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of bullshit also out there, and I wanted to give you only the truth about what's going on in cryptocurrencies. Try to get my opinions out of the way, although when I do give my opinion, I will tell you this is my opinion. Truth is very rare in cryptocurrency, especially in investment. People telling you it's going to reach the rock bottom of $4,500. This is complete bullshit, because they cannot know. They cannot know how far it's going to raise. The only thing you can do is analyze some charts. The only thing you can do is look at the potential for some projects and see what's going on from there. Take care, and I'll see you for the second episode soon.